Hello. Halito. Chimachakuma. Saho. Chifo. Ut Don Baron. I welcome you all to the Native Pathways Program 2018 graduation and honoring ceremony. We will cut the cake because I know some people are really excited for that, but that will be after we have our fabulous keynote speaker, Tracy Rector, speak. So we'll have a transition between Tracy speaking and our graduating ceremony. I would like to say, as we gather today together to share in this journey with all of our loved ones, let us remember our ancestors who traveled the many paths and trails over land and water to create this time and space for us. And with that, I'm going to introduce Tracy Rector. Tracy Rector is a mixed-race Choctaw Seminole filmmaker, curator, community organizer, co-founder of Longhouse Media, and a 2016 Stranger Genius, which that's pretty awesome, right? Even if you don't know what that means, to be a stranger genius. Yeah, it's good. She has made over 400 short films and is currently in production of her 5th feature documentary. As a co-producer of the award-winning film Teachings of the Tree People, producer of March Point, co-director of Clearwater, and director of, I hope I do this justice, Chaksaki. Rector has developed an awareness and sensitivity to the power of media and film as a modern storytelling tool. Her work has been featured on Independent Lens, the Cannes, is it Cannes or is it Cannes? Film Festival, Cannes. I'm so sophisticated today. Imagine Native, National Geographic, Toronto International Film Festival, the Seattle Art Museum, and in the Smithsonian's Museum of the American Indian. After years of galvanizing community and working in a directional role, Rector has begun to transfer her method of storytelling to galley exhibitions, including Redefinition at the Paramount Theater Gallery, You Are on Indigenous Land at Core Gallery, Women on the Brink at Vermilion Gallery, and Bloodlines at Bridge Productions. As a Native education specialist, Rector has facilitated work with over 3,000 youth, worked as a consultant with the Seattle Art Museum, served as a Native naturalist for the Olympic Sculpture Park, and will have her first major exhibition this summer at SAM, that's the Seattle Art Museum, opening on June 14th as part of Double Exposure. So that's next week. Tracy has received the National Association for Media Literacy Award for outstanding contributions made in the field of media education. She is currently a Firelight Media Fellow, is a WGBH Producer Fellow, Sundance Institute Lab Fellow, Tribeca All Access Grantee, and is the recipient of the Horace Mann Award for her work in utilizing media for social justice. That is a big deal, right? So, I would love for you to again warmly welcome Tracy Rector.
Halito, good evening. I have a cold, just so you know. I don't really sound this way. My name's Tracy Rector, and we're going to start off first with a short film that will actually be premiering at the Seattle Art Museum this coming week, so you're the very first to see it.
Yaya, Desha, Hohon, Ate Yaya Lam, Alturitoha. Isha, Quaguare, Atatuams, Alturitoha. The Isha, Tlacha Antesha, Swatut, A miman tuhak, miman. The past, Tlatlio on the walls, on Desha, all good of the walls. You've Heko Oyayus, the Atsatil Tabef the walls. You've Heko Oyayus. At the club, you have to hold, you have Heko at the past, quad, at the Atsatil Tabef the walls. Equipad, oh yais. Ibasha, at the squares were tufted. Adesha or would have. Oh, Equipast, Ibasha, here. Dea, oh, would have. Aslahio. Bastard. Duty. Equal bastard slahio. And they shall go up. The wabs. That's it up if me man slahio. Me man the wabs. Adesha. Go guarded. The dwa at the dwabs. It's like him. Back at it's the befquas side. Desha, oh good. Twelve disapa. Good we head back to see Aya. Desha, hey, qua, hold on.
Thank you. The elder speaking asked me not to subtitle it because he said we've been speaking their language for far too long, so it's time that they learn ours. So this is pretty amazing for me, actually. I'm one of those kids who wasn't, well, I'm not a kid now, but I was one of those kids that wasn't supposed to make it. I grew up in a pretty dysfunctional household, and TV was my babysitter. And I was that little girl with the big pot bottle glasses and the braids who never talked, who sat in the back of the classroom. And just kind of managed to make my way through school and through high school. I did not have the role modeling of doing homework or even knowing how to manage anything really in life, given my home life. So out of high school, I just went straight to work and started living my life. And about 30, everything kind of came to a stop. And I felt lost, and I wasn't sure what to do. And I came here to Evergreen. I was nervous. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm 30, I was scared to fill out the paperwork to even submit my application for Evergreen. That's where I was. That was 15 years ago. 15 years ago, where people held my hand and told me, you can do this. You can do this. You have this. And I credit a lot of that to the welcoming space of this school, this campus, this house, to Tina. You know, we're family. This is a circle. We're in a circle. We hold each other. It's very different. It's more than going to school. It's building a fabric and a foundation to hold you through your life. And it's amazing. It's amazing that you are here and that you are graduating. Give yourself a hand. When I graduated, I didn't understand. Again, given my family, I didn't understand what a big deal this is. All of your paths, all of your collective paths, all of your life experiences have brought you here to this point. And we are here for a reason. You are here for a reason. And you're gonna do big things in life, whether it be raise a family or become president. That's the world we live in today. We have options, we have talent, and we have support. We have each other's back. And that's what I learned here at Evergreen, is to trust and to build community and to bring community forward with me. All of those credits, my bio and all of that, it embarrasses me a little bit still, but I'm trying to remember that what I do is not about me, it's for community. My films are about community. Every time someone hears Lushootseed language, they ask, what is that? And it opens up a gate for conversation. It opens up a door. And all of your knowledge and all of your ancestral history and all of your teachings, that's going to also open up doors and a gate for greater understanding. That's what the knowledge of this education can do for the world. Right now, I run a program called Fourth World, and it's based on local teachings as taught to me by Joe Seymour and Roger Fernandez. And it's a time when the world's at such a state. There's turmoil, there's stress, there's a lot of pain and fear. But the fourth world's a time when people begin to realize that the knowledge of indigenous knowledge and systems are the way. Those are the healing paths for this world. And I firmly believe this. I believe that we're here today for a reason, that you got your education for a reason. I believe that that person who helped me to even fill out my application, all of that brought us to this moment to remind us we have a purpose. And our purpose is healing the world. And again, community is the cornerstone and the heart of all of that. What I do right now is, it's pretty interesting. Now that I have all these kind of fancy credits behind my name, I am able to actually realize that I can ask for stuff. And I never knew before. I used to be that person who was just excited to get to the table, to be there. Oh my God, I'm here, and I'll just be quiet and listen and learn. But now, my thinking is, they're really lucky that I'm at the table. I have something to say, and I have knowledge to share. And I didn't know how to do that, even up until 3 years ago. But what I'm doing with that today is I decided 3 years ago for the Paramount Theater that I would no longer work for any non-Native organization unless they post that they are on Indigenous land, the traditional lands of the Coast Salish people, and that they show me the race and social justice plan. Every single entity, and I'm talking the City of Seattle, the Seattle Center, the Seattle International Film Festival, they've all said yes. The Seattle Film Festival has about 150,000 audience members. And at every single of their 500 screenings, they had a card that said, "You are on Indigenous land, the traditional territories of the Coast Salish people." 150,000 people saw that. And it's just by simply knowing that we can ask. Even the simplest ask is powerful, and it builds. And it's like water, how water reverberates. And I guess I'm feeling a little bit emotional right now because I remember being that child who didn't think that I had a future. I remember being at such a dark place that I didn't want to live anymore. And it pains me to say that, but I think it's an important lesson to learn. At that moment, even in my darkest place, I found enough light to draw me forward and to understand that I have a purpose in this world. We're gonna all go through more trials and tribulations. We're gonna all experience, crooked roads, not such smooth paths. We're gonna have losses, but they are all for a reason. And I just encourage you, this is a big moment and a big day. Celebrate this, but understand that life is a wheel and a circle, and it's always going up and down, up and down. But this too shall pass. When you find that you're in those moments where you feel that's just unbearable and a challenge, just remember this too shall pass. I hope all of you hold that in your hearts because, again, you are here for a reason. The work that you've put into your education, it's honoring your families, your ancestors, and all of those who survived just so you could be here working on this education because you're going to make a difference in the world. And with that, I'm going to say thank you. And I'm honored that I was here to share with you this evening, and congratulations. Oh, here we are. Sorry, Don. All right. Once again, thank you so very much. My organization is Longhouse Media. We're a Native-run nonprofit and production company. And we're going to have some films at the Seattle Art Museum starting this Thursday on June 14th. And we have a new film out right now called Dawnland about the forced foster care system and Native peoples. Always feel free to email me at tracy@mac.com if you have any questions, if you're interested in films or filmmaking too. Thank you.
So the T-shirt that we're gifting Tracy is Jamin Nation, one of our students. He designed 2 different logos for the year for our T-shirts. This one is Mount Rainier, and it has the X for many of us who come from tribes that signed with an X, and there was some tongue-in-cheek in that, so some people find it very humorous and other people don't. So we have another shirt also that has in the Shootsy mission across it. Yeah, so. And then we'd also like to give you. Do you need it? Thank you so much, Tracy. And Tracy told you that she is an alum of Evergreen, yes? She received her bachelor's from our fabulous place. So right now, we would love for you all to go grab some dessert if you want some, and then settle back in, and we are going to bring in the graduates. Like in 3 minutes, if you can get dessert that fast. Maybe somebody can bring it out. So welcome again. I'm Dawn Barron, the Native Pathways Director, and I want to extend an enormously grateful thank you to the following people before we get to honoring our graduates. I would like to thank the Native Pathways Program faculty, Carmen, Kate, Gary, Toby, Kendra, Dan, Tony, Jesse, Gary, Lorena, and Laura. Also the Longhouse folks, Tina, Laura, Buffy, and Erica, the tribal communities and partners, the Evergreen admin staff, particularly Jen Drake, my boss in the back there, Walter Nemec, my go-to when I'm frustrated back there, Larry, Jerry, Puanani, Laura and Coral, Clarice, Elaine, Maria, Tina, Lori, Pam, Julie, and also the Native Programs Planning Unit. I'd also like to thank Student Services, Jeanette, who's over there, and Melissa, and Michelle and Barbara for reinvigorating this program, the beginning of the Native Pathways program. I'd also like to thank the Evening and Weekend Studies, George and Trish, and Nabahi, who designed the invitation. He's a student. And again, Jamin, who designed the year's t-shirt. I'd also like to thank my awesome children, my admin assistants, Kyle and Melissa. Melissa's graduating, Kyle's not yet. And student governance. Student governance put this all on for y'all, so you should give them a round of applause. And President George Bridges, I would like to thank him for his commitment to the Native Pathways program success. And he asked me to read his message. He sends his regrets and couldn't be here. And I told him I would wear a bow tie, but it would ruin my outfit. So that's not happening because President Bridges always wears his bow tie. So his message is, dear graduates of our Native Pathways program, congratulations on successfully completing your studies at Evergreen. We are immensely proud of your many accomplishments and that you are joining the community of Evergreen's distinguished alumni. I am really looking forward to congratulating each of you in person during our commencement ceremony on June 15th. You are prepared to lead our world. Sincerely, George Bridges, President. And I am going to introduce you to Tina Kukan-Miller, who is going to share a few words. She is the Vice President of the Indigenous Arts and Education. And then we are going to move into our student speaker and then our graduates. So please welcome Tina Kukan-Miller.
Miigwech Don. Bonjour Nindawe Maganidug. Greetings, my relatives. Bidana Kwadoko Indigenous Cause, Wabashishin Dodem, Waswaganing and Dunjaba. Manogijgad Nongum, Bin Nagay Squigwialt. Greetings, everyone. What a beautiful day it is that we're having. Yesterday, the whole Longhouse was just abuzz. People were greeting each other, smiling, preparing for this moment. And it's just an incredible time of celebration. So I'm so glad that you're all here. And on behalf of the Longhouse staff and board, we're so pleased that you're here to join us tonight at Squigwialt, our beautiful house of welcome. In the beginning of the year, the school year, I was invited to come in with my husband, Delbert Miller from Skokomish, and we were able to share a few words with the students, and we talked a little bit about this home and the meaning of the home and our vision for our home. We always love to share that story with students because if it weren't for students, specifically in our MPA program, who wrote a master's thesis asking the question, well, Evergreen, we've talked about having a Longhouse forever, why hasn't it happened? And identified some of the challenges and some of the workarounds. And it was truly their efforts who kept that dream alive and brought it forward so that we can be together today celebrating the accomplishments of the wonderful graduates. And I also shared at that time that when she established Native Studies in 1972, the philosophy was that Native Studies wasn't going to be a place to study Native people. It was going to be an opportunity to study the world from a Native perspective. She also believed, and we believe, that everyone has something to teach and everyone has something to learn. So I'm willing to guess that over the course of the year, everyone here has learned something from somebody else, regardless of whether you were faculty, staff, or a peer as a student. So I think tonight is really about celebrating everybody. You're all here to celebrate the accomplishments of the collective group. The program has been led by a very dynamic Dawn Barron, and she's just really been doing a great job getting out there and bringing the program to the communities and inviting more students to come and join the program. You've had an opportunity to work with wonderful faculty. You've been supported by staff. You've been supported, no doubt, by your family and friends who are here to congratulate you and lift you up. But I do want to say, at the end of the day, it really came down to you were the ones who had the determination. You had the grit. Nothing was going to stop you until you reached this moment when you were crossing the finish line to get your undergraduate degree at Evergreen. Doesn't mean you're done yet, right? But you're the ones who persevered. You're the ones who put in the work. So that's what we're all here to recognize and applaud you for. To let you know that we're here as your community. One of the things that we're proud of at Evergreen is that we like to say that we've done the first for a few things. For example, first longhouse on a public campus in the United States, the first Master of Public Administration program with a concentration in tribal governance, and now you get to be the first graduating class, the inaugural class of the Native Pathways program, and that's something worth celebrating. You're our leaders now and will continue to be our leaders. So a charming characteristic of commencement speakers is when they're brief, so I wanted to be charming and brief. So I just want to let you all know that this is your home. Squeaguelt is your home. And we're always so delighted when you come back to see us, to share what you've done. And I see there are so many alumni in the room. Let's see, how many alumni do we have in the room? Because we know you're there, and it's so wonderful to welcome you back. And current students, our faculty and staff. So there are many beautiful people in the room, and we're all here to celebrate. So I just wanted to say thank you, congratulations, and to remember that this will always be your home. Miigwech.
Thank you, Tina. And now we'd like to have Melissa Pascal, who is going to be the student speaker on behalf of her fellow graduates and classmates. Good evening and welcome family, friends, classmates, our beautiful instructors and special guests. Thank you for coming to our 2018 graduation and honors ceremony. I stand before you representing the student body and I am very honored. Don't they rock? So when I was trying to think of the speech I wanted to tell, I thought of our past ancestors, how we tell stories, and I'm still young enough not to have a lot of stories, but the main one I have is every single person is represented on my stole that has touched my life, who has helped me make it to this point, who I just adore immensely. And if we look at each other and we see we each have imprinted on each other, and that's like so really cool if you really think about it when we have our grandbabies, that we're actually passing this impression from everybody that we meet on, and so we live forever. I see that greatness in our community. I see the support that we all have for one another, and it just fills me with joy. Each of us are just so lucky, and thank you so much, Miss Dawn, for bringing the Native Pathways here. And I would like to end with a little reading, if I could, please. So in many indigenous traditions, seeds are considered sacred. For the Six Nations people, this is known as the law of the seed, an honoring of natural cycles of continuous creation and regeneration. Seeds carry life from generation to generation without end. Through the seeds speak the voices of our ancestors. Each time we plant a seed, we become ancestors for the next generation to come. If we follow the instructions, life will be everlasting. And so I hope each of us are seeds for each other. Thank you. Oh, let's whoop it up a little bit better for that. Come on. Plus, I'm getting you ready to like hoot and holler? Is that the saying? For the graduates. So following the graduation honoring, we will open the floor. So if you have students that were in the program that are not graduating, or your family, friends that want to say something about the graduating students, you can feel free to come up here, or we'll have, what are they called? Cordless mics? Cordless mics. I can bring them to you. And we'll do that after graduation ceremony. So some of the students I have known for years, and others I've known for just a year. But we are bonded by experience and our journey. Many have faced challenges, personal and institutional, and have created viable solutions, because we're problem solvers, right? To get them standing before us this evening. We, as Native people of this land, are resilient, creative, and capable. And these people here are a testament to all of us. I am humbled and honored to present to you the graduates of 2018. And how this is going to work is I'm going to call the name of the graduate, and they're going to come up here while their faculty says something about them or me. Not saying something about me. That would be totally inappropriate. Right? And the first is Sandra Wells Kalama.
Thank you, Dawn. My name is Gary Arthur. I coordinate the Native Pathways program at Grays Harbor College, and I'm very honored to be honoring Sandra Wells Kalama tonight and her graduation, her AA degree from Grays Harbor College in our Native Pathways program. I've asked each of the students to write some things that I could share with you concerning their educational journey. And regarding the inspiration that stimulated Sandra in her studies, she said that my children were my motivation. I wanted them to believe that once you put your mind to it and follow your dreams, all things are possible. She also appreciated the support she received from her husband and said, without the encouragement I received from him, I couldn't have done it. There he is right there. One of her goals in going to school was to graduate with a college degree to show her dad that she could do it. Although her father is no longer here, she said that she can look to the heavens and say, I did it, Dad. She also said that she is happy to celebrate this event with her mom. She said, I am glad my mom can experience the joy that I feel with my parent being here, for me to rejoice in an accomplishment that was one of my dreams. There are two things connected with her course of study at Grays Harbor that she points out as basic but important in helping achieve academic success. Number one, she said, stay on task with your schoolwork. And number two, don't fall behind. This simple but effective strategy supported Sandra in achieving her educational goals, and we honor her for that. Thank you, Sandra. I have a certificate for you. So we're honoring Sandra with a Pendleton bag, and we also have certificates here, Certificate of Honor from Grays Harbor College, and this gorgeous artwork. All right.
Do you want to say anything, Sandra? Did you want to say anything? Wow. That was the politest no I've ever received. Next we have Vince Cook.
And I hope you will say something. And I hope you will say something.
Hello.
My name is Kate Reevy, and I am honored and privileged to be here. And I want to thank all of you and to thank the people who shared this land in the past and whose languages I cannot speak, but I honor them, and I'm grateful to be here today. Before I say a few words about Vince Cook, I wanted to tell you that we are here from Port Angeles and from Nia Bay and from other points farther north and elsewhere, and we come from the Peninsula site on the Peninsula College campus. And the longhouse on the Peninsula College campus is the first longhouse to be built on a community college campus. And it's called Akustanaut in the Nusklayam or Klallam language. And Akustanaut means house of learning. And Vince was among the people who encouraged me to apply for this position to teach. I had been teaching writing for many years, and in my role at Peninsula College had often brought local elders, including Jamie Valadez, who teaches Klallam in the Port Angeles High School, into my composition classes. And so I just wanted to give you some sense of where we were learning together. And also, over the past year, we began in the fall with a focus on self-determination and administration, and then moved into, and self-governance, of course. Then we moved into ethics, and finally, leadership. So Vince Cook came into my presence and my role as teaching him as very much a leader already. And so that was very humbling for me. Vince has had many, many years of experience working for the Makah tribe, also for the Tulalip tribe, and also in Washington, D.C., under the great mentorship of Julie Johnson, who is here today. Vince has really, I think, done many, many, many things on a national level. And so I came into the role of teaching him very humbled and immediately realized that one of the key leadership qualities that he holds, and I'm going to mention 3 of them, is that he's extremely welcoming and that he helps each one of us who are part of this community to feel welcome and therefore feel that what we have to say matters. And that allows for an incredible engagement with the material, and every voice matters. He also is very discerning, and he will tell you if he thinks that what you're presenting is incorrect or lacking, and that's also very, very beneficial. And the third leadership quality that I see in Vince is that he deeply honors family, elders, and his ancestry, and he deeply, deeply honors right now and the work that remains to be done. And I see that he has many, many, many beloveds with him today surrounding him. Makes my heart full, and I know that Vince will say a few words. Any of you who know him know that I'm probably right here. And if I'm pronouncing it correctly, the Makah people are the Quadichtaak, the people of the Cape. So with my heart full and enormous gratitude for Vince's teachings in my life, I give you bachelor's degree graduate from the Native Pathways program, Vince Cook.
Kate has asked me to say a few words. It's hard to say a few words because I have a lot of things to say. But I want to thank my row for being here, all of the folks that came to support me. Leah Neunecker, who's on our Makah Tribal Council, appreciate you coming here. I'd like to name everybody. Julie Johnson, she's been really supportive through my education. Her son, Ron. My good friend, Ralph Monroe, and Nancy. I have to tell you a small story. I won't embarrass you, Ralph. But when I was 19 years old, when Ralph was Secretary of State, he put me in a headlock in Rotunda, and he said, "You need to go to college." So later on, I took him up on that. I'm almost 50 years old, so I went back to college. And Ralph, I appreciate you for the encouragement, and my mother, who's been supportive, she's going to be 84 this month. So, 83. Okay. And my dad, of course, he's going to be 87, so I really appreciate my parents supporting me and the rest of my family who's here. Dion, who's came to college with me. He was in Gary Author's class, Grace Harbor Community College. And I want to thank Dawn Barron for the great job she's doing with the Native Pathways program. Thank you, Dawn. And I want to recognize the other students that are graduating. Thank you for all being here, and a good job to everybody. So I really appreciate being able to go to college with you. And I'm going to end it right there because I can keep talking. So thank you.
You can always come back up when we open the floor up, Vince. He says okay, which is awesome. So the next person to graduate is Elizabeth Liz Daniels.
So Kendra and myself, I'm Toby Sawyer, and I also graduated from this program on the Nisqually site. And I was asked to introduce Liz, and it is quite an honor. It didn't take me but like 2 minutes to figure out what I wanted to say. I've known Liz for a very short period of time. She transferred into our program, and she was quiet and reserved and very discerning. And my goal was to get to know her heart, to get to know her essence, because I knew that there was something there that was incredibly powerful. She has made a truly deep impression upon me, and I wish to thank her family for sharing her with us. She is quiet and still. She was observant and calm. But more than anything, Liz is hungry for knowledge. She quests for the knowledge that she needs to work with those in need to build a strong and caring community. Since I have known and worked with Liz, she has truly helped me to become a better instructor. She is an incredibly conscientious human being. Whomsoever gains Liz as an employee, a community member, a friend, is incredibly blessed. And her friendship and her wealth of a strong soul. She carries with her such a strong soul, and I am just truly honored to be a part of your learning here at Evergreen, and thank you for asking me to be on this journey with you.
So first of all, I want to say thank you. We have a gift. Melissa and I made this for Dawn, the wonderful lady who runs this program. So Dawn, if you will come over here. I just want to say thank you to everybody, and most of all, thank you to my wonderful husband, because if it wasn't for him encouraging me, I would not be standing here today. So thank you.
So thank you. This is amazing. The next person is the fabulous and very, very by the rule book, keeps me on task, Tanya Harden.
Again, my honor to honor Tanya as a Quinault site student, and I'm fortunate enough to be the instructor at the Quinault site, Evergreen site. Dawn's introduction is right on. Tanya gives a different meaning to the word conscientious. She, if I don't hear email from her at least a couple times a day, I'm wondering what's up. So she is always on task, keeps the rest of us on task, I think, with the way she approached her studies and her academics. And we have, it's surely been a real plus to have her at our site. So if you were to ask Tanya Harnden what her most important accomplishment to date is, she would begin by telling you about the many hats she wears. She is a wife, mother, sister, auntie, and friend to people she holds dear to her heart. You would hear the story of how she cared for them all with a passion that can only be achieved through years of wisdom building and thoughtful understanding. She could tell you how she accomplished juggling her many hats, but this is not her way. She prefers to lead by example, through her leadership skills. Tanya received her associate's degree from Grays Harbor College when her children were young. Now, her youngest son will be graduating from high school this June, and she will have earned a baccalaureate degree through the Native Pathways program at Evergreen State College. Her dedication to family, whether through biology or not, commitment to education, and to her adopted Quinault community family gave her an awareness that education is not change as much as it is an opportunity to strengthen herself and those around her. So with that, we truly honor Tanya, and nice job.
I just want to let everyone know that what the graduates are receiving is a print by Roger Fernandez, made especially for this program. So, but Tanya left without hers. Jessica Humphreys. I don't know why I just sang your name, but it was good.
I won't put the pressure on. So Jessica Humphreys has been an inspiration, and I want to just start with recognizing that her mother is here today, which really led me to think quite a bit about my mother and the role that she's played in my life, and her something that Jessica wanted to be sure that we all knew is that she has two children, Naomi and Cameron, and that she works for the Jamestown S'Klallam tribe. And I was going to talk a little bit about her work, and it says very much about her, I think, that family is at the heart of what she would like you to know about her. I first came to know Jessica when she was an AA Bridge student at Peninsula College, and I just shared a van ride with her when I came down for a Saturday just as a guest, and she was so curious and so thoughtful and was taking in everything she was learning in her classes at Peninsula College and then wanting to go further. And then when she was here at Evergreen, she was really deepening and strengthening that emphasis on intertribal work that she does quite a bit of now. And something that I noticed was that Jessica was able to balance many, many, many balls in the air at once. And she was also a leader in the Associated Student Council, the ASC, at Peninsula College. So when I heard that I was going to have the opportunity to actually be with her in the classroom and to be in the role of being her teacher, I was delighted. And so in terms of leadership, just like I mentioned with Vincent Cook, I wanted to say three qualities that I see in Jessica as a leader. She's incredibly curious and takes that curiosity and then goes more deeply into the research. So she knows that she's understanding the depth of what she is studying. And within the realm of laws, and laws that strengthen and give a certain leverage to tribes, she has gone very deep. And her tribe, the Jamestown S'Klallam tribe, as you know, is very involved in environmental work for the benefit of the planet. And so she was also very focused on the sustainability work that this program allowed us to study and go deeper with. She's also, I neglected to say, Makah. So she is both Makah and Jamestown S'Klallam. The second quality I wanted to mention is that emphasis on intertribal. And in her role now, she does a lot of work bringing families from Jamestown tribe to meet with other families in the role of teaching and youth and connecting people in relationship. And finally, the emphasis on language and making sure that the youth she meets and influences and teaches are very aware of the S'Klallam language and the Makah language, and that these are living languages. I know she also has other guests here, and those include Tanner and other family members. And I could not be more happy than to have this opportunity to be the first to congratulate Jessica Humphreys on your bachelor's degree. Congratulations, Jessica.
Jessica, you're not gonna do it yet? Okay. So next is Jamie Hutchinson, and Jamie is at work. Jamie could not come tonight because Jamie was called in to cover for someone else, because that's the type of person Jamie is. So I don't know Jamie very well, but I would like to say a couple words about her. I've had a few phone conversations with her because she was concerned that her assignments were not done correctly. I am not her faculty, so the fact that she was calling just to double check says a lot about her character as a student. She's very to the point, she's very diligent and responsible, and she takes her earning of her education in the best way possible. She takes full responsibility for her learning, which is amazing. So we're gonna clap for Jamie and hope that we see her soon. Oh, but I'm gonna hang out because the next person is Kyle Kautz. What? So this young gentleman I have known for quite a long time, and I get to talk about him, so that's really exciting. So Kyle, when I first met him, told me very explicitly that he would not be attending any face-to-face class, that he would not speak, and that he would prefer to just be by himself and read his books and do his classes, all alone. And I said, huh, okay. And it took, how long did it take, Kyle? I'm not gonna ask you. Erica, how long did it take? It was within 2 quarters that he was in classes, and everyone was saying, wow, that Kyle Kautz, when he does talk, he is really smart. So I'm not gonna embarrass him too much. He ran out of electives, yeah, right. That is not what happened. But he can think that, that's fine. I wanna say this about Kyle. He is dedicated, he is quiet, he is highly intelligent, and he is full of integrity. This guy here, you will not hear him because he's quiet coming, but this guy is a future leader. He is a leader right now, and he is a future leader. He is the type of person that will always do the right and just thing, and those people, it feels like, are getting more rare, and this guy does it. He also has an adorable family, Erica and his 3 littles, which I kind of want to steal sometimes because they're really cute, but I'm done with that, so don't worry. I'll babysit though. are his first priority, and next, his culture, people, and his education. And it is with great, great, great honor that I am standing here with Kyle, having known him for a number of years, and he is getting his bachelor's degree from the Evergreen State College. So. And I'm not playing favorites. I just happen to know Kyle for a really long time. So I love you all also. Okay. Right, Vince? Okay. We're like this. Okay. Next is Becky Klatouche.
All right, our second student that we're honoring tonight from Quinault, Becky Klatouche. And I'm sorely going to miss her, as well as, you know, the other students that graduate. But Becky has always kind of kept me on my toes during lecture. It's not uncommon for her to come back with, "Are you sure about that?" Or "How do you know that?" You know. So I was always on, checking my whole card, making sure things were on the up and up. She was very good at doing that in a justful way. So Becky has overcome many setbacks, challenges, and barriers in her life to be standing here today and honored for earning her bachelor degree. The beginning of her higher education journey began 29 years ago after receiving her GED. So she's stuck with it. She has worked for the Quinault tribe off and on and has 3 children, 10 grandchildren, and a great-grandson. Yeah. She said her greatest joy and biggest inspiration in life are her grandchildren. After beginning 2 or 3 different degree programs while at Grays Harbor College, she settled on human services area of study and was even named to the honor roll while finishing up her AAS in 2006. After a period of time, she began her studies at Evergreen and has doggedly stayed the course over 9 years, working and raising 5 of her grandchildren to be finally standing here today. This is a true testament to her resolve and commitment to herself, her goals, and her family, and I heartily congratulate Becky Klatouche.
And next we have Alexandra Montague. Did I say your name right? I did it, right?
I'm very honored to speak on behalf of Alex. I first got a chance to work with Alex last spring quarter, and she was in my shawl class. And then we did an independent learning contract together during her last quarter. And I just want to say that Alex is really devoted to issues of food sovereignty and food security. And I've always been impressed with how you manage to invoke culture and understanding and seeing gardening and people having control over their own food sources as part of a way of reaching across cultures and understanding. You're a very strong person, and I want you to always remember that. So, thank you.
I'm so short. Let's see. I'm going to say some words. mostly I'm very grateful that I ended up being here. I have 7 children, and one of them, Daisy, she graduated here, and she kind of encouraged me to come here. I did two years in AmeriCorps, and pretty much I think that's what ended up. They said either go use your money or lose it. So I didn't know what direction I wanted to go. I knew that I loved people, I knew I loved plants, and I knew I loved healing. And one of the, I think it was Fabi, she encouraged me, why don't you try out the Native American program? I didn't know that one existed, but I was under Cindy Marchand, and it was called the Reservation-Based Community Determined Program. And I believe that she was very patient with me because I'm an older student. So computers, that it was very hard for me. So thank God that I had many helpers in the TRIO program. If you need help as a student, make sure you have them because they help you every step of the way. And I wanted to thank my brother that came from California to congratulate me and encourage me. And I'm from Spokane, Washington, and my husband, I think he missed me because I spent 2 years in a trailer over here just trying to finish. So anyways, thank you. And
Next, we have Lenora, or Kim, Starr. And Lenora, I'm going to do yours also. So, Lenora, I feel like, is very patient with me coming into this program, for she had been in the program previously. And she gives me the look sometimes like, oh my word, are you talking again, girl? But I want to thank her for her patience, and I am really excited to be here to share with you your graduating and getting your bachelor's degree, and well deserved. So, thank you.
So I'm Lenora Starr. I'm from the Confederated Tribes of Warm Springs and Warm Springs, Colville, from the Celilo village of the Columbia River. It's been a long time that I've been on this journey. Glad to make it here. I really am inspired by the students that I've started with, and that's Vince Cook and Alexandra and some of the other students here, and grown very fond of Alexandra, just the short time that we've known each other. We've had some similar struggles, and I truly believe that each of us do have a purpose, and I've come to realize that even though I like to feel like I'm in control, there is actually a higher power that's in control of my destination, because it's kind of funny. I was actually a University of Washington student, had been accepted to a program there, and was on my way to go sign up, but I could not get, I worked for full-time as well for King County, and my supervisor at the time wasn't going to give me the time to be able to take the one class that I needed. And one of my coworkers says, well, why don't you go to the Evergreen State College or Northwest Indian College? They got a campus here in Muckleshoot. Like, what? So I went and checked it out, and here I am 2 years later. And I love the light and the spirit that this program has, and the knowledge that each of our students bring to us. I especially enjoyed learning about the social justice issues, the environmental issues, and even though I didn't plan to be standing here this many years later after starting my own program years ago, I am thankful and grateful that it's taken the course that it does, because I feel like it's really helped me and touched me, and I think that I'll be able to help others as well. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Lenora. Thank you. And last but not least, we have Melissa Pascal.
Okay, you guys hear her cackle a little bit? So this is what it's like working, playing, teaching, being with Mel. She's a joy. And I feel very honored that you would ask me to introduce you. For a short introduction, let me give you some context, please. So we are at the Tacoma campus, and our class was invited to do a presentation at the House of Knowledge in the University of Washington for this quarter. Interestingly enough, the guest speaker had her PhD, and she was from Santa Cruz, and it was a fascinating topic, and I wrote it down. Oh, I thought I wrote it down. Anyway, it's about indigenous hubs urban natives use to create community. Have you guys ever heard of that? So it was incredible. And as I listened to her talk, she was talking about not only the physical hubs that urban natives create to make community for ourselves, but it is the technological hubs that we use. And most importantly, it is the people themselves, the indigenous people, who are the hubs that enable urban indigenous people to build our community. And I couldn't think of a better person who represents this as Mel. Everything that is in this room, and the Cedar Room, and under these roofs, this whole building is infused with her spirit. The things that are in front of you, the cedar, the ferns, all of this has her energy through it. We are blessed to have you as this person that brings all of us together and makes us better. And I'm just incredibly excited for your next journey in this life. And whatever you do, you will be incredibly successful. Congratulations.
I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm really hot. Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. You caught me off guard. I thought you were going to roast me. That's later. I really want to thank my family, my son and Carson, and my fiance, Brad, the bestest friends that any girl could ever have, especially Amber over here, who's my sister and my bestie, who I love so much. She's the first one I met 4 years ago when I walked into NWEG. And needless to say, I've been away from the res for a very long time. And to meet somebody so beautiful, she's the person who invited me in and has kept me going, keeps me in line, and she's just so awesome. And then I have these awesome friends. I have a new friend, Liz, who I've got to know quite well, and she's super major awesome. And one of my favoriteest guys ever who needs to walk with me on the aisle is Kyle. Kyle, number one. He's so awesome. But I also want to thank these super amazing people that are behind me. I can put them through heck. I like to be challenging and debating. And each and every one of these people behind me actually saw me in action, but kept going with me. The number one teacher that I really pushed was Carmen, and she's not here, but she's pretty amazing. But Dawn, Carmen, and Toby had my hand, kept me going, laughed at me, told me to get over myself many times. Student governance is like so major awesome that they put all this together, and I actually have a couple special things for the student governance. Is it all right if I can have like 3 more minutes? Okay. So I thought this would be kind of fun. So this is the new annual, first time, Gooey Duck Most Awesome Super Duper Award. So my student governance partners would be Tanya, Liz, where's Sam? Sam, come here. Did anyone else stay from student governance? Okay. No, I don't see anyone but the very quiet man in the back row, Chad. And then we just have a couple outside the student governance. Kyle, too. Kyle is my partner in crime, and we've been together for 2 years, and we've been keeping Dawn the way she is, most fantastic. God, they just keep on coming out of this box. Amber. Okay. So Amber keeps us fed all the time with the most fantastic food. And so this is why you get one. Mm. Who's next? Avery Pratt, my son, who has stuck by mommy losing her nuts over homework. This is my son, Avery. Thank you, Avery. And last but not least, Brad. This is my fiance, and he pretty much did most of the decorating here, and feeds us every time we run. We're like, oh my gosh, we have no food. Call Brad. So, thank you, babe. That's it. That was kind of fun, huh? I'm not done. I'd also like to thank my teacher, Kendra, who I have challenged Kendra quite often, and she has taught me a lot, and I want to thank her. Thank you, Kendra. My very first teacher at the MPP, Lorena. Oh, there she is. Lorena, she's so awesome. And the cool thing about Lorena is that she has a positive attitude no matter how grumpy I was. So thank you so much. Thank you. And Toby, who's just like fantastic no matter what. Thank you. And Laura. She taught me how to make my stool, and she's just such a positive person, and thank you so much for all your help and gifting me such beautiful things. Thank you. Thank you all. 2018 rocks.
So I want to do a quick shout out to Melissa and Kyle back there. Stand up Kyle 2. We call Kyle Couts Kyle 1. Sorry if there's another Kyle. We'll call him Kyle 3. For definitely helping out all the time and doing all the admin yucky stuff like Excel and all that stuff. And these decorations were really Toby, Kyle, Melissa, and Brad. Brad owns Pizza Time downtown. You have to get your pizza there because he has fed us so many times because we are crabby and hangry. We are hangry Indian folks sometimes. So thank you, thank you. And all the graduates are going to line up. I don't care if you wear your blanket. It's hot, but you can keep it on. Oh my gosh. And this is for your picture pleasure, and also so we can do a huge stand up for these folks that are now graduates of the Evergreen State College and Grace Harbor Community College Native Pathways Program. Woo! So there's also the photo booth that Melissa and Brad put together. You can dress up. You can do lots of different things and have your picture taken. Selfies, all that were within reason, of course. And the mic is open if anybody wants to come and sing a song or tell a story about a graduate or a student. Whatever you would like to do. It is open for the next, let's say, 15, 20 minutes. All right, thank you.
Okay. So we have some more to talk about real quick. Yes. I need all the faculty up here. Dawn, Toby. Yeah. All right, so we're giving these gifts to our teachers from all of us students. Is called, in this jar, the rock, excuse me, this is from all of us students to our faculty. The rock is the reminder about our foundation. The soil is for making us dig deep and explore. The glass jar is to know many perspectives. The sage will present to you is a hopefulness of protection from your next class. And many more in the future. Thank you for all your time of being our teachers. You have made a positive difference in our lives. Thank you, class of 2018. Okay, now anyone else can talk if they want to. Thank you.
She's allowing other people to talk.
Hello. I would like to say congratulations to my sister Alejandra Montague. She has shown us that she is a true leader to all our family, especially to her children, but also to her brothers and sisters, that it's doable, that you should not give up. And we really are proud of her for her leadership effort and demonstration to all of us. Alejandra, we love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I'm Alejandra's husband, and she always said, you know, her father was a very educated man and a journalist, and she always said, if my father had lived, I would be educated. He died in his 40s, really young. And anyway, here she is, a graduate. BA graduate. And I want to also commend her for being so inclusive of all cultures. I remember she was in AmeriCorps, and for some reason, she has the skill to help others. And when someone couldn't speak English, she didn't speak Arabic, but they sent her this girl that only spoke Arabic and a little bit of English. Because, anyway, she was able to help that person. And also, she is a manager of the community garden in our neighborhood. And at one point, there were a lot of plots left. And she seen this Asian lady walking by. So she goes out and tries to talk to her, but the lady couldn't speak English. Her daughter interpreted somewhat. And this lady said, I've walked by her so many times and wishing I could be in that garden. She's so inclusive of all people. So congratulations, Alejandra. And
I am Michaela Crawford, Alejandra's daughter, and I would just like to say I am so proud of my mother for graduating at 63, and she's an inspiration to me. Woo! Go mamita!
Mama, I love you, Mommy.
We love you, Mom. Thank you. We're proud of you. Good job.